The second part of my FAST intervention has to do with the metacognition component, WIST, word identification strategy training, where students are taught different strategies to help them figure out unfamiliar words. The first component has to do with rhyming. In the sounding out portion, students are taught about 120 different keywords, such as her, car, very familiar words, and these are stored in a keyword bank in the classroom. So basically, the rhyming out strategy is when students are taught that when they see a word such as train, they can look at their keyword bank and see the word rain, and realize that if they know rain, they know train. So this is basically the strategy used the rhyming strategy. The pre-skills required, though, are that students are able to identify rhyming words, can make rhyming words, and again, are familiar with all the words in the keyword bank, and know how to use the keyword bank to reference an unfamiliar word. The next part of the FAST training is called vowel identification training, and I will talk about this in the next segment. So the second part of my intervention is called vowel variation training. This is a second WIST strategy, and this requires a student to be very flexible and also have been taught that different vowels frequently have multiple punctuations in English. So this is going to be something that students have had instruction in and have practiced the different variations. So basically they're taught to try different sounds. So for instance, if they're trying to figure out the word find, they would try the short vowel and the long vowel to see which sound would make a familiar word. And this is basically done with any word a child is not familiar with. They can try this strategy. If they're trying to figure out the word steak, they first would know that the EA sound, double twin, has different sounds, such as in beak and great, and so they would try the different combinations to see which word actually made sense. So that is how vowel variation strategy works. The next strategy is called peeling off, and this basically requires children to understand that words have suffixes and prefixes, and children have had instruction in determining if a word has a prefix or a suffix and which suffix and prefix it is. So again, pre-skills are required for students to use the strategy. Basically, peeling off means the student is looking at a word such as unstacking and knowing that there is a prefix of un and an ending of ing, and peeling off those and seeing a root word. They can also use the rhyming strategy to figure out the word stacking, knowing that they have either seen the ACK in tack, and then knowing that if they know tack, they know stack, and then they take the prefix and suffixes that they've peeled off and put them back on, and so then they come up with the word unstacking. So this is basically that strategy that students are taught. Again, they have had to have been taught all the pre-skills, and the strategy has also had to be modeled to them in order for them to be successful in using it. So the final two strategies in FAST are called I Spy and Game Plan. I Spy happens around day 65 of the training, according to what I've read. And this is a strategy used for compound words. Students look at a word such as raincoat, and they circle the word they know, such as rain, and then the word coat. They think of what could go with the word rain and come up with the word raincoat. The final strategy is called Game Plan. This is a culmination of all the strategies the students have learned. In order to use this, they have to at least be able to discuss and demonstrate 3 of the other WIS strategies, such as peeling off, rhyming, and vowel variation. So in this strategy, the students are basically able to use which strategy they want to come up with an unfamiliar word. If a student comes, for instance, across the word unpacking, they can say to themselves, well, I'm going to peel off the beginning and the end, and I'm left with the word pack. If they don't know pack, they can look at ACK and look at their keyword chart and see if they have a keyword that is like pack, such as tack. And if they know tack, they know pack. And then with the peeling off strategy, then they put the words back on, the ending and the beginning, and they come up with unpacking. So that's just an example of how a student could use Game Plan. FAST is meant to be used in small groups. It's meant to be used for students who are struggling readers. It's also a program that combines phonological awareness along with metacognitive strategies, which is a strength, I believe, as students are taught strategies, they're taught how to use them, and then they're independent and in how they are going to figure out an unfamiliar word. So it's a program that really wants the students to be their own self-learners and independent in how they are going to figure out an unfamiliar word and not spend so much time on trying to decode a word, but having the strategies in place so they can figure out the word and then move on to read for meaning and comprehension. So that is the intervention FAST, PHAST, and thank you for watching, and happy 4th of July.